presenting is a Reader's Theater adaptation of a radio play, an art form dating back to a time before television when families would gather around their radios and use their imagination to visualize scenes to accompany what they heard. This radio broadcast was originally performed in 1939.
Sadly, COVID-19 has made in-person theater very difficult this year.
But we still have our love of theater.
And our old school special effects.
And COVID hasn't dimmed our Christmas spirit.
And speaking of spirits,
the makers of Campbell's Soup presents the Campbell Playhouse. Orson Welles, producer.
Good evening, this is Orson Welles. When Charles Dickens presented this little story to the world almost 100 years ago, it found an instant response in the hearts of people everywhere who saw in it their favorite fictional chronicle of what Christmas is and what Christmas means to all the simple people of the earth. And now, just before A Christmas Carol, Ernest Chappell has a special Christmas greeting from the makers of Campbell's Soups. Mr. Chappell?
Thank you, Orson Welles. As the old year draws to a close, we at Campbell's feel a bond of warmth and gratitude towards each of you, our friends. For, you see, in homes everywhere throughout the land, Campbell's Soup has been welcome. Day by day and week by week, you have placed confidence in us and in the foods we make. And there isn't anything we appreciate more deeply than the fact that so many of you have elected to let Campbell's make your soups for you. And so when Christmas comes, we look about to find some way to show our appreciation, some Christmas present by which to say thank you. The gift we chose 5 Christmases ago and have chosen every year since has become a part of Christmas to many and many a family. It has become a Christmas custom, as Mr. Welles said, to gather around the radio to hear and to enjoy A Christmas Carol. And since it is Christmas Eve, we hope too that the younger members of the family are permitted to stay up and listen. We get a great deal of pleasure planning and preparing this Christmas gift, and now it's ready. To you, from Campbell's, and here is the gift itself.
Marley was dead to begin with. There's no doubt whatever about that. Scrooge and Marley had been partners for I don't know how many years. But he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, was Scrooge. A squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. On Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house, a grim, cheerless place if there ever was one. The door of Scrooge's counting house was open so that he might keep an eye on his clerk, Bob Cratchit, who, in a cold and dismal little cell beyond, worked on his ledgers.
Bob Cratchit!
Yes, Mr. Scrooge.
Stop that infernal caterwauling.
Yes, sir.
Now, Cratchit, you can pop over to Fopagill's and tell him I shall have a constable over there if he doesn't pay back the money he owes me.
Mr. Fopagill's wife has been ill, sir.
What do I care about his wife? I want my 17 and 6.
I just thought it being Christmas, sir.
Christmas. You mention that word to me once more, Bob Cratchit, and I'll...
Merry Christmas, Uncle. Merry Christmas, Bob.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Fred.
Bah, humbug.
Christmas? A humbug? Uncle, now, I'm sure you didn't mean that.
What right have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
Well, what right do you have to be dismal about Christmas, Uncle? You're rich enough.
Bah, humbug.
Now, Uncle, don't be cross.
What else can I be when I live in such a world of fools as this? What's Christmas to you but a time for paying bills without money? A time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer? If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips would be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stick of holly through his heart.
Uncle!
Now, nephew, keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
But you don't keep it, Uncle.
Well, let me leave it alone then.
I came to wish you a Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Much good has Christmas ever done you?
Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe it has done me good and will do me good. And I say, God bless it.
Hear, hear.
Cratchit, let me hear another word from you, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation.
Yes, sir.
Oh, don't be angry, Uncle. I want nothing from you. Come spend Christmas with us.
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry you feel that way. A Merry Christmas to you, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year, too.
Bah, humbug.
And a Merry Christmas to you, too, Bob.
Same to you, sir.
Bah, humbug.
Afternoon.
Have we the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Marley's been dead these 7 years tonight.
Well now, Mr. Scrooge, at this season of the year, it's only fitting that we who are more fortunate should raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of warmth.
Well, you may not believe it, sir, but many thousands are now in want of common necessities, and hundreds of thousands are in want of the simplest comforts.
Are there no prisons?
Well, there are plenty of prisons, sir.
And workhouses? They're still in operation, I trust.
I wish I could say they are not, but they are, sir.
I was afraid from what you said that something had occurred to stop them in their useful course.
A few of us are endeavoring to raise money for the needy, and, well, what should I put you down for?
Nothing.
I see. You wish to remain anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. My taxes support the establishments that take care of the poor. Let those who are badly off go there.
Well, many can't go there, sir, and many would rather die.
Well, then my advice to them is to do so and decrease the surplus population. Cratchit! Show these gentlemen out.
Yes,
Good
sir.
afternoon.
Yes, sir. This way, sir, please. Sir, I couldn't help overhearing. I should like to contribute tuppence.
Cratchit!
Yes, sir. It isn't much, but it's all I can afford. There are others in worse situations than I.
You're a generous fellow.
Cratchit!
Yes, sir.
I wish I might say so of your employer. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Cratchit!
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas. Yes, sir.
Close the door.
Yes, sir.
Cratchit!
Yes, sir.
It's too late to have you go to Farfagill's. He'll be closed up for Christmas like those other fools. We may as well close up the place now.
Yes, sir. It is getting a little dark. Hard to see the figures.
I suppose you'll want the entire day off tomorrow.
If it's quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair either. If I was to stop half a crown of your wages, you'd think yourself very ill-used, I'll be bound.
Well, sir, I'm in...
Yes, but you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
It's only once a year, sir.
Once a year! A fine excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose there's no good talking. You must have the whole day off. We'll see that you're here all the earlier the next morning.
Oh, I will, sir. And sir, Merry Christmas.
Bah!
Scrooge took his melancholy dinner in his usual melancholy tavern, and then went to his dismal house. He locked himself in. He double-locked. Then he climbed into bed.
Ebenezer Scrooge! Ebenezer Scrooge!
Huh? Who are you?
In life I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
But you're dead. You died 7 years ago.
7 years ago this very night. What's wrong, Ebenezer? Don't you believe in me?
Bah! Humbug, I tell you. Humbug!
Ah!
Oh, excuse me. I do believe in you. You are a ghost, Jacob.
Thank you.
But why do you walk the earth, Jacob? Why do you come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within me should walk abroad among his fellow men and go far and wide.
But tell me, Jacob, what is that chain you wear around you?
I will stain I forged in life.
But you are always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business! Mankind was my business. Charity, mercy, benevolence, they were all my business.
Oh!
Listen to me, Ebenezer.
I'm listening.
Ebenezer, I am here to warn you that you have yet a chance of escaping my fate.
But how shall I escape?
Tonight, you will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Well, then I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it over, Jacob?
Remember, when the bell tolls 1, the first spirit, and look for me no more.
Scrooge found himself face to face with an unearthly visitor. It was a strange figure, like a child, yet not so like a child as like an old man. Its hair, which hung about its neck and down its back, was white as if with age, and yet the face had not a wrinkle in it.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Who's that?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
What do you want of me?
Your welfare, Ebenezer Scrooge. Rise and walk with me.
Oh, no, not out of the window. I'll fall and break my neck.
Bear but a touch of my hand upon your heart, and you shall be upheld in more than this.
Where are we? What's become of the city? There's snow upon the ground. Where are we?
These are the shadows of the things that have been. You recognize this bleak building over there?
Oh, that building. I was a boy there. Yes, I went to school in that horrible place.
Come, let us go closer. Look through the window into that cold, barren room. What do you see, Ebenezer Scrooge?
I see a boy.
A solitary child, neglected by his family. Alone.
Oh, I was so lonely. Poor boy.
Ebenezer!
Fan, Sister Fan.
I have come to bring you home, dear brother.
Home, Fan?
Yes, home for good and all. Father is much kinder than he used to be. He was in a pleasant mood just the other night, so that I was not afraid to ask him once more if you might come home. And he said yes. He'll never have to spend another moment in this dreadful school. But first, we'll be together all Christmas long and have the merriest time in all the world.
Your sister was a frail creature, but she had a large heart. Your sister died a young woman, but she did have a child, as I recall.
Yes, a son, my nephew, Fred. And I turned Fred away from my door.
Come, we have more places to visit. Do you know this place?
Know it? This is where I was apprenticed. Look, it's old Fezziwig, bless his heart. Fezziwig, alive again. And there's Dick Wilkins. We were the best of friends.
Yo-ho there, Ebenezer, Dick. No more work tonight, my boys. It's Christmas Eve. Clear all this nonsense away. Life's too short for all work and no play. As I say, it's time for a party.
In came a fiddler. In came Mrs. Fezziwig, one vast, substantial smile. In came the two Miss Fezziwigs, beaming and lovable. In came the young followers whose hearts they broke. In came the housemaid, with her cousin, the baker. In came the cook, with her brother's particular friend, the milkman. There were dances, and there were games.
Right hand on blue.
And more dances. There was cake. And there was warm cider. And there was a piece of cold roast. And a piece of cold boiled. And there were mince pies. And plenty of beer. When the clock struck 11, this domestic ball broke up. Mr. and Mrs. Fezziwig waved to every man and wished him or her a Merry Christmas.
Come, my time grows short.
No, I want to...
I know it matters very little to you, Ebenezer. Another idol has displaced me.
What idol has displaced you?
A golden one. Money is what you worship now instead of me.
What poppycock?
Oh, Ebenezer, our promise to one another is an old one. We made it when we were young and poor and happy to remain so, until we could improve our fortune together by patience and hard work. But you've changed. You are not the same man. Tell me, Ebenezer, if all of this had not happened, would you seek me out and try to win me now, a poor girl with no money to bring to our marriage? Just as I thought. You may feel sad now, Ebenezer, but I have no doubt that you will forget me very soon, as if you were glad to have awakened from a bad dream. May you be happy in the life that you have chosen.
Spirit, show me no more. Please, I beg you, take me away from here. I can bear no more. No more. No more.
And Scrooge found himself back in his own bed.
Just a dream.
Arise, Ebenezer Scrooge.
It was his own sitting room, no doubt about that, but it had undergone a surprising transformation. The walls and ceiling were so hung with living green that it looked a perfect grove. From every part of bright, gleaming berries glistened, and such a mighty blaze went roaring up the chimney as had never been known in Scrooge's time, or for many and many a winter season gone. Heaped up on the floor to form a kind of throne were turkeys, poultries, great joints of meat, sucking pigs, long wreaths of sausages, mince pies, plum puddings, barrels of oysters, red-hot chestnuts, and seething bowls of punch that made the chamber dim with their delicious steam. In easy state upon this couch there sat a jolly giant who bore a glowing torch.
Arise, Ebenezer Scrooge, and know me better, man.
You...
I am the ghost of Christmas present.
Where have you brought me, Spirit?
A humble dwellings on a humble street.
It's miserable enough.
Yet there is happiness there.
Who are these people? Who's that man and the children?
These are the family of your clerk, Bob Cratchit. See, his father is setting the table for their Christmas dinner, and there assisting him is Cratchit's second son, Ben. And the young man with the fork and the stuffing, that's Master Peter Cratchit, and the rest of the children.
Here's Martha!
Merry Christmas, children.
Why, bless your heart alive, Martha. How late you are, my dear.
Oh, we'd had a great deal of work, and we had to clear away this morning.
Never mind, so long as you're here now. Sit down before the fire, my girl, and get yourself warm.
Where's Father?
He's been to church with Tiny Tim.
They'll be along directly.
How is Tiny Tim, Granddad? Any better at all?
Sometimes I think he is, and sometimes I think, oh dear God, if anything should happen to Tiny Tim.
Granddad, you mustn't think such a thing.
Ah, here they come, Father and Tiny Tim.
Father's
Merry
home.
Christmas,
Here they
Father.
are.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Martha, welcome
Merry
home.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Martha.
Father, I'm so glad to be home.
And how did Tim behave in church, Bob?
As good as gold.
I like church. They sang the nicest songs. I hope people saw me there.
Saw you there? And why, Tim?
Because I'm lame. And if they saw my crutch, it might be pleasant for them to remember, upon Christmas Day, who it was made lame. Beggars walk, and blind men see.
Bless you, my son.
Oh, come on, let's eat.
Yeah, let's eat.
I'm
starving.
Yes, children, we're all ready. Come, take your places now, and wait your turn. There's plenty of stuffing, dressing, and plum pudding for all of you. Martha, you dish up the food for Tiny Tim.
Yes, Granddad.
And see that he eats plenty. He must get strong and well.
And now, my dears, shall we say grace?
Spirit, tell me, if Tiny Tim will live?
I see a vacant seat
Our
in the
Father,
far chimney
who
corner,
art in
and a
heaven,
crutch without an owner,
hallowed be thy
carefully
name.
preserved.
Oh,
Thy
no,
kingdom
no,
come,
no, no,
thy will
kind
be done
Spirit. Say he
on
will be
earth as
spared.
it is
Say
in
he'll
heaven.
live.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, Ebenezer, the child will die.
Amen.
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 And now, my dears, with such a dinner, a toast. A Merry Christmas to us all, and may God bless us.
And may God bless us all.
And now to Mr. Scrooge. I give you a toast to Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed, who pays you all 15 shillings a week. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast on.
Dad, the children, Christmas Day?
Yes, it's only Christmas Day on which one drinks the health of such an odious, stingy, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Bob. You knows it as better than you do, poor fellow.
Dad, Christmas Day.
Fine. I'll drink his health for your sake, and the day's, not his. Long life to him. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very happy and very merry indeed, I have no doubt.
And I say, God bless us, everyone.
God
bless everyone.
They are not a handsome family, these Cratchits. They are not well dressed. Their shoes are far from being waterproof. Their clothes are shabby and scanty, and have known very likely the inside of a pawnbroker's. But they are happy, grateful, pleased with one another, and contented with the time.
And when at last they faded, Scrooge kept his eyes upon them, and especially on Tiny Tim, until the last.
Do you know these people, Scrooge?
It's my nephew, Fred.
Said that Christmas was a humbug. And he believed it too.
More shame for him, Fred.
He's really a comical old fellow, and not so pleasant as he might be. However, his offenses carry their own punishment, and I have nothing to say against him.
I'm sure he's very rich, Fred.
But his wealth is of no use to him. He doesn't do any good with it. He doesn't make himself comfortable with it.
Well, I have no pity for him.
Oh, but I have. Who suffers by his ill whims? Himself, always. Here he takes it into his head to dislike us and won't come to dine with us. What's the consequence? He loses some pleasant moments, which could do him no harm. I mean to give him the same chance every year.
Well, you're a better man than I would be, Fred, with such a dragon of an uncle. Roar, humbug!
Oh, he has given us plenty of merriment, and it would be ungrateful not to drink in his health. Here's to Uncle Scrooge.
Uncle
Uncle
Scrooge.
Scrooge.
Just then, Scrooge notices something strange crouching by the feet of the ghost.
What's that down there? A claw?
It might be a claw for all the flesh there is on it. Look here.
And Scrooge saw two thin, dirty, wretched, scowling waifs crouched and clutching at the ghost's robe.
Spirit, are they yours?
No, they are man's children. Do you not know them? This boy is ignorance, and this girl is need.
Can no one help them?
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses? These are your own words, Scrooge.
A solemn phantom, shrouded in black, draped and hooded, coming towards him, slowly and silently, like a mist along the ground.
I know you. You are the ghost of Christmas yet to come. Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any specter I have seen. Yet, I know your purpose is to do me good. Lead on. Spirit, why have you brought me here again?
Granddad, please don't cry.
Oh, my grandson. My little grandson, Tim. I loved him so.
Granddad, you mustn't cry.
It's almost time for Father to be home. Don't let him see you crying.
He's late tonight.
He walks much slower than he used to.
And yet I've known him to walk very fast. Very fast indeed, with Tim on his shoulder.
So have I, Granddad.
So have we all.
But Tim was light to carry, and your father loved him so that it was no trouble. No trouble, it's... Evening, Bob.
Good evening, Dad.
You're late, Bob.
Yes, I'm sorry, my dears. I went to the churchyard today. I wish you all could have gone with me. It would have done your hearts good to see how sweet and green such a place can be. But you'll see it often. I promised him we'd walk there on Sundays. My son, my little son, Tim.
Oh, that's cruel. Cruel. Spirit, can't you give me one ray of hope that I may change all that? That tiny Tim may live? Why, I know those men. And this place, it is the stock exchange. It's a second home to me.
I don't know much about it. Either way, I only know he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
I thought he'd never die. What has he done with his money?
I haven't heard. This is his company, perhaps. I only know he hasn't left it to me.
It's likely to be a very cheap funeral. For the life of me, I don't know anybody who'd go. Suppose we make a party up and volunteer?
I don't mind going if free lunch is provided.
Come to think of it, I think I was his best friend.
What?
We used to nod to each other when we met in the streets.
Spirit, tell me, who is this man that died? Is there no one to mourn the poor creature?
Scrooge saw a greasy, bedraggled old man surrounded by an odd collection of junk. Old iron, rags, old clothes, moldy books, bottles, and so forth. 3 ragged, sharp-faced creatures slink into the scene, carrying bundles.
Very well, then. Who's the worse for a loss like a few things like these? Not a dead man, I suppose.
No, indeed.
If he wanted to keep him after he was dead, the wicked old screw, why wasn't he more natural in his lifetime?
If he had been, he would have had somebody to look after him when he was struck with death, instead of gasping out his last there, all alone by himself.
It's the truest word that was ever spoken.
It's a judgment on him.
Let's see. A seal, a pencil case, and a pair of sleeve buttons.
I'll give ye £1.8 and not another sixpence if I was to be boiled for not doing it.
And here's his bed curtains.
You don't mean you say you took him down, rings and all, with him a lying there?
And why not? He wasn't apt to catch a cold without him.
And this is how it ends. He scared everyone away from him when he was alive to profit us thieves when he was dead.
And they found themselves in a graveyard overrun by grass and weeds. The spirit pointed to a single rundown grave.
Spirit, before I draw nearer to that gravestone, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of things that will be, or are they shadows of things that may be only? There's writing on that gravestone. The name on the gravestone is Ebenezer Scrooge. Oh, no, Spirit, no. I'm not the man I was. Tell me that I can change these dreadful shadows you've shown me. I will honor Christmas in my heart. I will try to keep it all the year. Tell me that I can sponge away the writing on that stone. Spirit, I beg you, I will change. I will.
And Scrooge found himself back in his own room.
My room. Look, the sun's shining. It's clear, it's bright, no clouds. What a beautiful day. Oh, glorious, glorious. Hey, boy, oh, boy.
Yes, sir?
What's today?
What's that, sir?
What day is it, my fine fellow?
Today? Why, it's Christmas Day.
Christmas Day! Then I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. Heaven be praised.
What's that, sir?
Listen, my lad. Do you know where the poulterer is? On the next street?
I should say I do.
What an intelligent boy, a remarkable boy. Tell me, do you know if they've sold the prize turkey that was hanging in the window?
The one as big as me?
What a delightful boy. Yes, that one.
Why, it's hanging there right now.
That's wonderful. Go around, will you, and tell them to send it to Bob Cratchit and his family on Broad Street. And mind you, they're not to know who paid for it. Go along. Hurry, my lad. Here's the money. Tap a ground for your trouble.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Merry Christmas, sir.
Mr. Scrooge dressed quickly and rushed out into the street.
Hello there. How do you do?
I beg your pardon?
Aren't you the gentlewoman who came to my office in regard to that charity?
Why, yes, sir.
A Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, sir.
Allow me to ask your pardon, sir. And will you have the goodness to accept this pledge for a donation?
Why, Lord, bless me.
My dear Mr. Scrooge, are you serious?
Now, not a penny less. A great many back payments are included in it, I assure you.
My dear sir, I don't know what to say to such munificence.
Don't say anything, please. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Next morning, Scrooge was early at the office. He went early for a reason. If he could only be there first and catch Bob Cratchit coming late. That was the thing he had set his heart upon. And he did it. Yes, he did. The clock struck 9. No Bob. A quarter past.
No Bob.
Scrooge sat with his door wide open so that he might see him come in. At last he came. He was on his stool in a jiffy, driving away with his pen as if you were trying to overtake 9 o'clock.
8 and 15 and 21, 6 and carry to 1, 24 and carry to 2, 31, 8 and 9.
Hello, you, Cratchit.
Yes, sir.
Cratchit, what do you mean by coming in at this time of day?
I'm very sorry, sir. I'm behind my time.
You are.
It's only once a year, Mr. Scrooge. It shall not be repeated. I was rather merry yesterday, sir.
I'll tell you what, my friend. I'll not stand this sort of thing any longer. And therefore, Bob Cratchit, I'm about to raise your salary.
Mr. Scrooge, are you quite yourself, sir?
No, thank heaven, I'm not quite myself. Merry Christmas, Bob. Merry Christmas, my good fellow. A merrier Christmas than I have given you in many a year. I shall raise your salary, and we'll see what we can do for Tiny Tim and the rest of your family, huh? We'll discuss it this very afternoon over a Christmas bowl of hot rum punch.
Scrooge was better than his word.
He did it all, and infinitely more.
To Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father.
Became as good a friend,
as good a master,
and as good a man,
as a good old city knew,
or any other good old city, town, or borough in this good old world.
Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh, and little heeded them.
His own heart laughed. That was quite enough for him.
It was said of him ever after that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge.
May that be truly said of us, and all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed,
God bless us, everyone.
If you have enjoyed our 5th annual presentation of A Christmas Carol, the makers of Campbell's Soup invite you to tell your grocer this week when you order Campbell's Soups.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System, broadcasting atop the Wrigley Building, Chicago.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.